Close your eyes and listen. That isn't just an engine, it's a heartbeat. For over 50 years, one name has hummed through the American consciousness like a low-frequency fever. The Monte Carlo. It wasn't just a car, it was a reward. It was the personal luxury statement for the man who had arrived but wasn't ready to settle for the soft, padded walls of a Cadillac. It was muscle in a tuxedo. A brawler with manners. But for 20 years, the streets have been quiet. The legendary nameplate faded into the history books, leaving a void in the Chevrolet lineup that no crossover or high-tech EV could ever hope to fill. As we stand here in 2026, the automotive world is at a crossroads. The Camaro has taken its final bow. The Corvette has ascended into the realm of mid-engine supercars. And the American consumer is left asking, where is the soul? Where is the car that can eat up 500 miles of interstate in total comfort and still turn heads at the valet stand? Today, the silence ends. The rumors have reached a breaking point, and the designs emerging from Detroit suggest something monumental. This is the 2026 Chevrolet Monte Carlo revival. A car that doesn't just remember the past, it weaponizes it. To understand the 2026 Monte Carlo, you have to look at its bones. This isn't a retro car in the way a plastic toy mimics a classic. This is retro-futurism. Look at that front fascia. It's dominated by a formal, wide-mouth rectangular grille. In an era where every car looks like a melted jelly bean, the Monte Carlo dares to be square. The mesh is finished in a deep liquid black, framed by a single, unbroken stroke of brushed aluminum. But the eyes, that's where the magic happens. Dual round LED headlamps. It's a direct visual link to the 1970 first-generation icon. But look closer. These aren't just bulbs, they are adaptive matrix projectors that track the road with surgical. As you move to the side profile, you see the Coke bottle fenders, a design language that defined an era of American excess, now sharpened for the 2026 aerodynamic standard. The hood is impossibly long, pushing the cabin back toward the rear wheels. It's a long hood, short deck proportion that screams power. A subtle red accent line, the heartbeat stripe, runs the length of the rocker panels, leading your eye to the massive 21-inch staggered wheels. They are wrapped in high-performance rubber that fills the arches with zero gap. This car doesn't sit on the road, it claims it. Open the heavy, frameless door and you aren't entering a cabin, you're entering a sanctuary. The original Monte Carlo was famous for its Knights of the Round Table luxury, and the 2026 model takes that mission seriously. The seats are finished in a quilted, butter-soft beige leather that smells like a bespoke Italian suitcase. This isn't the cramped cockpit of a sports car, this is an executive lounge. There is room to breathe. There is room to live. Across the dashboard stretches a 38-inch curved OLED display, borrowed from the flagship Cadillac line but reskinned with a heritage interface. You can toggle between modern high-def graphics or a 1970s retro mode that mimics the analog brushed steel gauges of the original. But beneath the vintage skin is the most advanced AI assistant Chevy has ever produced. It learns your commute, adjusts the active noise cancellation to drown out the world, and engages Super Cruise, GM's industry-leading hands-free driving tech. Imagine cruising down I-95 at 80 miles per hour, your hands behind your head, the V8 humming a distant lullaby, while the car handles the heavy lifting. This is the definition of personal luxury. Now, let's talk about what happens when you bury your right foot into that thick carpet. A Monte Carlo without power is just a heavy sedan. But in 2026, Chevy is rumored to be offering a trinity of powertrains. First, for the purists, the 6.2-liter LT2 V8. No turbos. No superchargers. Just 495 horsepower of naturally aspirated American thunder. It's the same heart that beats in the Corvette, but tuned here for a wave of low-end torque that makes passing maneuvers feel like a rip in the space-time continuum. But then, there's the Super Sport. The SS. The rumors suggest a radical hybrid setup.
A twin-turbo V6 driving the rear wheels, paired with a dual-motor electric drive unit on the front axle. Total system output: north of 670 horsepower. This would make the 2026 Monte Carlo SS the most powerful luxury coupe in Chevy history, capable of a 0 to 60 sprint in a blistering 2.9 seconds. It's built on the Alpha 2 platform, the same world-class architecture that gave us the Blackwing Cadillacs. With Magnetic Ride Control 4.0, the car can read the road 1,000 times per second. It can be a soft, cloud-like cruiser on Monday and a flat-cornering canyon carver on Sunday. It's the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde. So, where does this fit in your driveway? And more importantly, what does it cost? The 2026 Monte Carlo isn't trying to be a cheap entry-level car. It's a bridge car. It sits right above the high-trim Malibu and just below the Corvette. Industry insiders estimate a starting price of $42,500 for the luxury trim. But if you want the full experience, the SS Performance Package with the active aero and the quilted leather, you're looking at a sticker price in the $68,000 to $75,000 range. To some, that's a steep price. But compare that to a BMW 8 Series or a Lexus LC500, and suddenly, the Monte Carlo looks like the bargain of the century. We live in an age of utility. We are told to drive efficient boxes. We are told that the coupe is a dying breed. But then, a car like this appears on the horizon. A car that values style over cargo volume. A car that values the driver over the passenger. The 2026 Chevrolet Monte Carlo is more than just a comeback. It is a middle finger to the boring. It is a love letter to the American road. It proves that as long as there is a sunset to drive into, there will always be a place for a long hood, a V8 engine, and a knight's crest on the grille. The call to action. But the real question is, are you ready for it? If Chevrolet puts this into production tomorrow, are you trading in your SUV? Or has the world moved on from the personal luxury coupe? Let's settle it in the comments. I want to hear your stories of the Monte Carlos you used to own, and your hopes for this 2026 revival. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are tracking this story every step of the way. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your heart on the drive.